Hello, greetings. Uh, Give us a couple minutes. Welcome to the show. This is Kev, and yeah, here to discuss some couple things. Yeah. Before I get started, just wanted to let everyone coming in know, to be mindful of the message going across the bottom of your screen. So, hold on one second. Do something real quick before we get started. So, right as you walk in, please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Yeah, got some things to discuss as far as Idris Elba, and yeah, what it is I just went and saw that film. I just went and I just got out of it like 30, 40 minutes ago. Um, Film named Beast. It's a pretty good film, I would say. Nice little, nice little father film. I say that much. If you're pumped about being a dad, and you want to be, you want a good image put out there, because they don't do good images of us very often. So I thought it was a good film. Let's do something real quick. Hope everyone is well on this Monday. Yeah, just bear with me for a moment. There we go. All right. So, for those of you who haven't been under an internet rock, I'm sure you've heard by now. Idris Elba did an interview on his newly released film Beast, and about a lion. It's always cool to see some movies about some killer animals. But he takes a trip with his two daughters to South Africa to meet up with a friend, and they go on a safari, and one thing leads to another, and you got this lion that's just fucking everybody up. it's just it's just crazy. It's crazy and how everything unfolds. And I'll probably be doing a spoiler review on the other channel, the Black Dimension, a little later on. So um, I would ask you guys to please tune in and look out for that if you are subscribed to that channel. Yeah, I would say I enjoyed the movie. The idea that I would do whatever it takes to protect protect me and mine. I would say, the things he had to go through to keep his daughter safe, and I just know how some of us feel about that around here. But let me explain. Let me look in this chat real quick. Got a few people in the chat. Dane one, what's going on? Toya, Judge Dre. I think that's Blue. I think that's from last night. I was supposed to do this broadcast last night, but shoot, the shit just didn't work out. D. Scott, what's going on? Said Dane one said problem. People make hard times. She's mad about him not helping get that part. Fuck them kids. Come on, man. Hey, let me tell you what. Let me tell you what I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna really just talk about her or roast her any. I do keep in mind that is that man's daughter, and we keep we'll keep the respect. But for what I saw in that film and what I've seen of his daughter, I'm not saying that she's no good acting or anything, but if it, excuse me, if it were chemistry, if chemistry was the problem, it was certainly needed there in that film. It did need a dynamic or a chemistry. That was no lie. I mean, they had to go from being like people who've taken a trip to trying to not get eaten by a lion, told the fuck up, and it's just the range of emotions that an actor has to go through in order to get through something like that, or per se. Just think of the movie Cujo, except for a dog, it's a lion. Yeah, but let's yeah, pull some up. I put in Idris Elba daughter on the on your Google, and yeah, it just is just one that this is a story that just kind of caught fire. And, I just don't want everyone to think that it's just these people on social media who have these rampant talks or whatever. But yeah, it was kind of all over the place. So let's go to one of them. Yeah, AV Club, pop culture obsessive, writing for pop culture obsessed. Look like might be one of these channel. I mean, one of these websites that virtue signals or whatever. But the title of the article is Idris Elba has chemistry with everyone except his daughter. Apparently, said Isan Elba didn't speak to her father for weeks after missing out on a role in Beast. Like they tried this is the kind of publication that tried to make it sound so egregious and so bad that I'm pretty sure it's not that serious. Just I don't know. Maybe the answer that we are looking for is if you were in that situation and you had a kid, and your kid really wanted something that you probably could have access for your child, and you had to tell your child no. The one thing is, I know it was probably tough for him to do it, but it had to be done when, especially when it's that level in the presentation that you're trying to give. So let's see what this article says. Read through it. As anyone who's watched a romantic comedy knows, chemistry can either make or break a movie. It's also important in other kinds of stories, such as, say, a survivalist thriller about a family trying to evade a lion attack. Idris Elba recently dropped by the Breakfast Club to discuss his latest project, Beast, in which he plays a father whose trip to a South African game reserve with his two teenage daughters take a menacing turn. The kids are played by Ayanna Haley and Leah Saba Jeffries, but the cast could have looked a little different. Yeah, there's this word. Let me see. Think about how to actually say this. There's this word. It's called nepotism, Basically, if you're close to someone who is in a prominent position, say like a family member, because nepotism is usually associated with family, then that means that you have a clear path to success. And um, seeing that, I will say in this space that we have the conversation about generational wealth quite often. Could this be this one little move by this black man that was made, an example of denying access, or was he just, doing as anybody who cares about anyone would do and say, if you're just not right for it, you're just not right. Now, like I said, coming from someone who has watched the film, yeah, I would say that yeah, it you needed a certain chemistry in a situation like that. Plus, I mean, I don't know how old she is. She looked for the girl that played the role. She looks a bit old. I'm not here to so much emphasize on his looks. I'm just like I said. I do understand that that's still someone's daughter. Yeah, they say that these kinds of guys, in this space is a problem. The Your dad with a daughter, but basically, could you really say that about Idris though? I mean, the fact that he didn't, just push for something to happen, and maybe he did know himself because he was on the Breakfast Club. It was someone else's decision, but he was the one that took it upon himself to break the news to his kid, because who else would be suited for that job except him. And she said that she didn't speak to him for 3 weeks, and I can see that. It's cool. It's like if you really want something and you feel as if it's within your grasp. But the one thing that she wanted him to do was, hook her up. Say, pull some strings, see if you can get me this role. And I guess he gave her her first lesson in Hollywood. It's just things don't work like that. It's a bit more complicated than that. You wanna be at a certain level to where you got to be right for that. Like I said, uh, the, from what I can see, it was a cool movie. It was an enjoyable film. For reasons that I are pretty. I guess I could say noble to me is a good representation of a black man. And I mean, like Idris Elba is usually kind of a go-to guy for a range of things, but he can just just I would say black masculinity was represented well. I mean, he was like the character was a doctor, so so a doctor that was on some survival game. I mean, he did everything he could to get his kids out of that situation. So bravo to that. I'll say it was a good film based on that. But as far as the making of the film, nepotism did not exist. Just to say, look, you gotta make it. You gotta make it genuinely. And I'm not saying she wants to be an actor. I don't know if she can act or not, but but yeah, if y'all want to, if you want a good film that just came out to go check out. You probably will probably want to go check this one out. Yeah, but yeah, the one thing that I was thinking about when I was like, well, since I'm a dad with a daughter myself, is if I was in the position to give my daughter something, I mean, I definitely want what's best for her. But if she wasn't right for it, but I could get it to her anyway, would I do it just to make her happy? And it, when you really sit down and think about a question, asking yourself a question like that, it's more complex than one would think. Someone that someone is not in that situation, I would say that a man that doesn't have a daughter, even a man that has a daughter, because when I say that I'm a dad with daughter, I'm not saying that dads with sons don't count. If we are looking for the overall betterment of this thing, then we gotta be even tilled across the board. I'll just say that. But yeah, if it were definitely within my control, not something that would eventually put a lot of pressure on my kid, but it if if she were right for it, if I could do it, I would do it. But if she wasn't right for it, I can't make the way for something like that. So what I would say is, I would commend Idris Elba as a dad for having the wherewithal, to allow something like that to happen, for his, because it could, this could be the lesson that his daughter needs. It could be that lesson. Let's just say it like that. Hmm. But yeah, we don't give black fathers enough credit. We don't, and we know it. We know it. It's look. I would like to, and we understand that nepotism has helped out a lot of families. But for like a role in the movie, I would have to say that would be a little different. So, see what y'all doing. Let's see. What up, Greg? Oh shoot, got Donnie in the building. Roger, what's going on? Says long live the habitual line steppers. Long live, brother. Thank you for the super chat. Say I saw the movie last night. It was a good film. Yeah, yeah, it was. Robert Nelson said they don't want straight black actors to have opportunities uh, to their children. Hollywood had a problem with After Earth. They also wanted to lowball Will Smith for his Karate Kid movie. I mean, After Earth. I mean, as a film. And I don't criticize Will. I don't criticize Will Smith. I know the whole slap situation was messed up, but I don't criticize Will as far as what he has done for his family. I mean, if a lot of us were in that position, we would do for our family. It's not exactly the fairest thing. I mean, say, Donnie, what's going on? Donnie from YAS4W, my habitual line stepper brother. He said, LOL, movie chemistry is different from real life. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The Dane Warren said, "I left my daughter a savings. Um, she gets nothing more from me." Shoot, you know what though? That's a little bit more than um what a lot of people do for their kids right now. Shoot. Got Robert Nelson in the building. He said, "Not cool. They never refused Nicholas Cage. They refused Kirk Douglas' son, Michael Douglas, Henry Fonda. They didn't refuse his children either." Rael, what's going on? Says giving children things they haven't earned is the reason to why over 60% of wealth is lost when it's passed down from first generation to the second. Yeah. Also, not prepare your kids. People aren't the same. People aren't the same. They, what the kind of work ethic you have may not even be the kind of work ethic your kid has, or the gifts that you were given. I mean, look at this. Uh, Patrick Ewing's son was not as gifted a basketball player as his father was. What's going on, hybrid? Uh, hybrid says, Kev, you see Kamaru Usman get knocked out in the last 1 minute in the final round by a head kick in the fight he was dominating. Wow, that's the thing about the MMA fights. You know, say no, I didn't see it. I'm glad I didn't see it, brothers. But shit, that's like I said. Shoot. So yeah, who is he fighting though? Who is he fighting? But he made a point. Say you would think by now, due to the destruction of the black community, they would take a father's worth seriously. But then again, they don't want uh, black men to win, which is a good point. So since we understand that, we just have to keep pushing through on our individual selves, and maybe there'll be a mass effort to get on point. Leon Edwards. He lost to Leon Edwards. Said his daughter was crying. A lot of fighters were sad. He fought Leon Rocky Edwards. Sorry about that. You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. Said by a great man in a movie. Yeah, but anyway, what do y'all think? I'll drop the link in. I'll drop the link in a second. I'll drop the link in a second because understandably so, there are people on both sides of the opinion, as social media constantly exposes some people. As one of the articles I showed you would frame it, that Idris Elba probably could have done a little bit more to get his daughter that role. Um, on the other side of and like I said, from what I've seen in the film, um, you had to be a certain type for something like that. So I mean, the other, is just well, one. I mean, what about the other actress? I mean, doesn't she deserve an opportunity? Weather, what's going on? It said Will. No, let me see. It said Will when he shopped Karate Kid movie to China, they gave him a better deal. Plus, Will was trying to open a school in Philly and build a hotel. Old money refused him. The Dane once said John Washington did the work to be like Denzel. Rael says his soccer mom, everyone gets a participation trophy nonsense is the worst. You rob kids of the ambition when you just give them and they don't earn it. Hmm. Yeah, it said Rael. That's one of the reasons society is getting soft and entitled. You know what though, but some people ain't on that nepotism tip. Shit, Jackie Chan. Shoot, I mean, I don't know if y'all know anything about him, but he is a believer in communist China. Shoot, he already told his kid, "This is my money. When I leave, when I'm gone, when I'm dead, I'm donating all of it to charity. You will earn your own way." Mm. But sometimes like you have these situations. The parent themselves, like they've done enough for the kid. You know, how old is she? By the way, how old is Ison? Ison Elba, Idris Elba daughter. She is 20. She's 20 years old. Hmm. Said Rael said Jackie Chan did say that. Shaq said I'm rich. Shaq said that for his sons. The whole y'all not rich, I'm rich, because remember Shaq was like, my daughters can stay as long as they want, as long as they need to, so I can teach them about men. Teach them how to deal in this world, especially when it comes to men. My boys, you're gonna have to get out of here. So, I mean, anyway, Weather says, Police Story is Jackie Chan's best movie. Shoot, I'm more so on like uh, his old school kung fu flicks. Um, like when I have a conversation like that, shoot, Police Story, yeah, I believe it's pretty good. I'm more so into the drunken master. Said, "What's up, y'all? What did Jackie say?" Jackie Chan said that he's giving up all his money. When he goes to that great beyond, that he's not leaving his son any of it. That his son gonna have to cut out his own way. Was talking a bit about nepotism. Now, I will say this is like this is what keeps a lot of wealth within certain families. Robert Nelson, always good to see you, bro. By the way, said we need to stop the spoiled false narratives. When black men build something, he can't help his children. Yet every other father can help their children. But us see. We don't know how Idris Elba uh, helps his daughters in other ways, though. That's we can't just say that when it comes to something like acting. I mean, I don't mean to do too much pushing back, but I just kind of like to think about it in that way. Like he could be doing a multitude of things for his kids. Like that's just outside of getting them in the spotlight. So I mean, I agree with you, but then there's other ways, to kind of think about that. Is that hybrid says these days it is so foreign to see any article or editorial about a father, especially black father, doing something monumental for the children. SMH. Hmm. Yeah, and here's the thing about that too. Um, you won't be able to find it. Doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Not to say that it does happen, not to say that it doesn't happen. Yeah, the media, exactly. The media won't report on it. Ralphie S. RPM, what's up? Say I will give my son startup money and it's up to him to build on it. That's the most I would do. Yeah. Said Michael Douglas did a great job making his own way. He got a totally separate career and resume as an actor. His dad honestly can't touch his career film wise. So Michael Douglas, yeah, I do kind of agree with that. And shoot, Michael Douglas is still getting work. Shoot, Michael Douglas, yeah, he in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That man is the original Ant Man. Right? It doesn't matter who you are. If you give children things they don't earn, regardless of color, they grow up with no drive and and entities, including black ones. That's not helping them. That's hurting them. I mean, the only thing that really they can a child can really benefit from if you pass down knowledge. I would say pass down the knowledge to maintain such a fortune. If I would say said fortune was handed down from my hand to my child's hand, teach them how to continue the business. That's how a lot of these major corporations survive, like General Electric. Shoot, there's always a way that these corporations stay around for decades upon decades because it's passed down from father to son. So there again, in all cases, yes, there are some little spoiled, snot-nosed brats out there that you know doesn't like if their parents died off and they had no money, they would probably kill themselves because they never had to work for anything. So those kids exist, but the little corporate folks, that shit get passed down from generation to generation. Mm. Said Kevin, I'm coming from me reading articles observing the media has a different tone when it comes to straight black male actors' children. Yeah, absolutely. Ralphie S. says Idris Elba's daughter did not speak to him for a week when she lost out on the role in The Beast. Um, it wasn't a week, it was 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks. Weather said, I read that Clint Eastwood is worth $370 million. I doubt Scott Eastwood saw any substantial amount of that. I mean, what is the last thing Scott Eastwood has done? I mean, I believe I know who he is, but I can't think of anything off the top. Passing down knowledge is different than just handing them money and positions. Yeah. Yakuza series generation official. I have a nightmare last night. A lot of pro-black transgenders killing all the straight people. This is bad. LGBTQ community. They're going to war on us, brother. Dating interracial relations. Wow. You put out a doomsday scenario. Scott was in a Pacific Rim sequel. And yeah. I remember that. I remember that. Him and John Boyega. And I mean, it was a pretty cool concept, but it was just that yeah, the whole kaiju inside of the Jaeger, yeah, that was pretty cool. But and then the three kaijus that through nanotechnology was able to combine to form one giant motherfucker. Mm. Said Pacific Rim sounds like us. Is it Weather said, which is ironic because Idris Elba was in the first Pacific Rim. Hmm. Jamie Foxx's daughter acts too. Hmm. He said, plus Kirk Douglas was a monster. I read his book. He admitted how violent he was toward women. It was rumored he violated Natalie Wood, was a teenager. Said Patrick Schwarzenegger is in the Boys spinoff. Speaking of the Boys, the guy Jack Quaid, he plays Starlight's boyfriend. Man, I should know his name. He's the son of Dennis Quaid. Yeah. Said Scott was in Suicide Squad. Who was he in Suicide Squad? Weather said in John Boyega's latest, he looks like the member of the Black Manosphere. Not even kidding. Hybrid said, does Denzel's son act? Yes, he does. John David Washington. Yeah, he was in that movie Tenet. Very, very puzzling film. Tenet spelled backwards is Tenet. Yeah. But the John David Washington, he's gonna be around for a lot of years. But let me drop this link. Drop this link. See if anybody wants to make some comments. Toy Texas says John David Washington is any. Yeah, I know what you're trying to say. Yeah. Name one U.S. agent is Kurt Russell's son. Oh yeah, Wyatt Russell. Also, Tom Hanks' son, Act Two. Oh, what's going on, Marcus? So, okay. See, we got Judge in the back. So, what's going on, Judge?
How's it going?
Alright, shit. Put this music to a stop. So, what's going on? What you got to say, man?
On the top,
About the prevention of nepotism as
well,
far as a black
I'm,
father goes.
the father says, "Hey, man, the best man for the job." Unfortunately, it's like this. This is how it should go. What I say, like, say, if my daughter was a close second, and they said, "Well, fine, we casting both you and your kid." But they really, and your kid, but she's really good. This person's better. And then I'm like, well, if I gave you a little discount, would you take both of us and just, I can see that. But if like she blew my kid out of the water, unfortunately, you got to go with the best person because I understand that we look at it and say, well, the father should have been like, well, fuck it, I ain't gonna do the film. If not, but the people who make the films, they put all this money up front for an investment. This money, they have to make the money back on the back end. If it's bad acting, that could make the film not make any money. Then everybody lose. I mean, like, say,
Mm-hmm.
what if it's going to be a series where it's going to be one or two parts? Sometimes, if that first one ain't good, that could jeopardize the whole thing. But I've seen that this is the problem with I've noticed with our people. We don't want to, sometimes you got to just take that L. Hey, baby, you ain't good enough. You didn't get the part. It's just what it is. I mean, and you've seen. I've even done it. I'm the one, the first one that came on here. I put my own son out. Before he was 18, I put him out. I mean, because unfortunately, you don't want to follow the rules. It's just like that. You ain't good enough for the part. I understand you, my kid, and I would like you to have this part, but you ain't good enough. If I wanted you to get the part so bad, if anything, hey man, I'm gonna send you to acting school. I'm gonna send you here. I'm gonna get this type of help to put you in a position to get that part.
Yeah,
For
and, let me say this. Just for just to put that out there, he wasn't the one that made the decision for her not to get the part.
no, right. The
It
other
was
people
the filmmakers.
wanted him
Yeah.
to right, but they wanted him to fight. Basically, where they're mad is they wanted him to use his pull to get his daughter the part. I understand what they. I read the comments. Like me, I love to read the comments to see what type of I try to gauge what society is going by the comments. I love I ain't gonna lie, I like stories like that because I like to read the comments to see what people say. But they
Yeah.
were that oh he could have done more and this that and the other. Well, here's the question: it ain't like it was him. It's his film. If it was his film, his money, and all like that, then you can say, well, damn, he should have picked his daughter.
Yeah, well,
It
you
don't
know
got to
how us on the internet are.
right.
We got all the answers. We know
Yeah,
all about the inner workings of Hollywood.
right. I mean, so like I tell people, I said, yeah, the only time you can do that is when it's your money and you paying the cost to be the boss. Like I
Yeah,
know, yeah, if I'm point man on the job and I hire my son to do work instead of somebody else, then if the shit don't go through, it's on me. But I can't be, just say general contractor and then divvying out the contracts of motherfuckers who don't deserve it. Because then when the project falls through, then everybody lose. Then that
yeah,
could be into my business. Because then how would like say he was the one, and say he had control over everything, and then the investors say, well, fine, we're gonna give you the money, you do it, spend it how you want, just make sure you make us our money back. And then he said, they look and say, well, look at this dumbass motherfucker. That's a nigga for you. Rather than put somebody in the position who could have done the job for better and cheaper, he hooked his friend up, and look what happened. MC Hammer, anybody? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. MC Hammer's a
Right,
shining example of this.
right.
Putting
MC
people in
Hammer,
position that just probably wasn't a fit because they were in the hood,
right.
and they end up turning their back on him when the well ran dry.
Yeah, I said MC.
Yeah, this. I mean, you hate to see it. You,
MC
you you really do. You hate to see it.
right. I mean, it's I mean, it's unfortunately, but what I've noticed too, if you notice every damn thing, it's always um it's always, especially when guys do it, it's always oh yeah, that's just a shit on men thing. And what's so bad is you don't realize it. Because you see the tide starting to turn. You see now women are starting to get in trouble for shitting on dude and shitting on men. And watch, you're gonna see a big change to where so many of these women are gonna start getting in trouble for the attitude that they have towards men that it's not gonna be funny. Like you're gonna see it
What,
clean up.
are you talking about? Are you talking about the therapist?
No, I'm not. Well, she's not the first one, but you see other people are starting to get it's like you see a small rumblings because they realize the advertisers realize, well, wait a minute, we used to not care, and then now like people are starting to realize, and all it takes is an advertiser to be like, no, fuck it, we not gonna have you disrespecting any part of our customer base. I don't give a fuck if it's 2%. Because
Yeah, that's
this is the problem is you as a CEO or CFO of the company, you need to increase profit at all costs. Do you want to alienate any customer? No. You understand what I'm saying?
I
You
mean,
got
I get that, but here's my take, man. Here's my take. Society isn't ruthless enough.
yeah,
Now, you,
about it. About it.
no, it ain't ruthless enough. People should be able to flip out if they want to flip out, and reap the consequences
Mhm.
of said commenting through people who disagree, not losing their livelihood. That shit sucks.
Well, they shouldn't lose their livelihood, but this is the problem. In certain positions of power, you can't be in a position of power like a therapist or somebody like that. Anything in a respected position and shit on half of your client base. You get like, well, literally, I couldn't be like, you ever notice you don't see big companies out there like Revlon shitting on, another, say, female company. You don't see them doing that. They might come out and say, but they don't really just come out and like shit on them, like where they calling their names and all that. And this, they don't do that. They keep it within reason. But to go out and be calling, yeah, that's the problem with y'all niggas. Fuck y'all, this, that, and the other. Wait a minute. You're a psychiatrist. You deserve to get fired because that goes say, oh, well, wait a minute. Like if you was a doctor, if you was a judge, if you was a cop, anybody that make decisions like that and deal with a lot of people, they'd be like, well, oh, so basically when the men come there for therapy, you probably treating them like shit. Or you ain't really trying to help them. You can't show that it's like that's like say okay, like say me, I'm a contractor. Say if I had the white people that I was working for, and the white people I didn't do the job as well, or whatever. Would they hire? Mostly all companies would be like, "Fuck it, we ain't gonna touch you." Why is that? Because he's got it in him to do, you know what I mean, to where he'll discriminate against a certain group, and they don't want that because it brings bad. I mean, especially anybody that does business, it's bad for the business. They don't want that flack.
Well, as far as discrimination, you got to be able to prove that.
Yeah,
Otherwise, if you are an asset to that company,
but
you could stick around for a while and do all the discrimination you want. But if there is no evidence of that shit,
but what,
then they ain't gonna get away. That shit gonna fly under the
no,
radar.
but there's evidence when you online talking about the shit opening your mouth.
Well, yeah.
It's like a big difference if saying, well, look, I call people say names in the boardroom or at home, but it's my friends and family might know I call these people names, but nobody else know. But if I get on TV and say, yeah, man, these clients are like this, I do that to them, this, that, and the other. I mean, wouldn't you think they'd be like, hell no, we ain't hiring Judge.
Now,
Well,
let, let me
hell
let
no,
me
Judge be the
let me clarify
product
something.
for spokesperson for our products.
let me clarify something. Do I feel sorry for this young lady? No,
No,
I don't.
no, I don't feel sorry.
No, I don't feel sorry for her. I don't
Mhm.
feel sorry for her. But should she have been fired? I don't know. I just have this vision of a more ruthless society.
Well, I like well, this is the problem. You can't. It's like this. If she'd have been, she unfortunately in that type of job, she should have been fired, because this is the problem. If she works at a practice and you allow your people to talk like that, you understand? Like with me, even for my company, I can say if I had people that were racist working for me and discriminate, then I was getting big contracts. They wouldn't hire my company because they say, well, these are the people that you employ. So you set a standard for the company. Now, if you were just an independent private practice, you're fine. But once you work in a group, you can't do that, because you bring basically it's they're like, wait a minute, they got this person working in this group. Then they're like, oh hell no! Imagine whoever they don't want to take the chance of losing money like that. And there's a lot of money in health insurance, and there's so many. It's so easy to get hit for malpractice and all that other shit. You can't do that. I mean, I
So
understand. Like
the
the dude worked at McDonald's, or he was worked at a factory, and say she worked at a factory and was talking that shit, then she don't need to lose her job. She was like a cop, judge, psychiatrist, like she was saying. Oh, these that you couldn't have a job like that. But the person, like, say she worked at McDonald's, or I mean, like, she could be a factory worker, a manager for still. I mean, even a manager at a factory, she shouldn't lose her job. But once you in control of people's lives and stuff like that, you can't be in that position and discriminate and show any form of discrimination, because especially now, because it's frowned upon. Like talking about, like, I would rather hear you sit up here and be like, "Oh yeah, they fat, they need to lose weight," or something like that. That's better than you saying, "Oh, if I got men, the men clients, just fuck them." You can't say that, because then that's like, well, wait a minute, are you taking these people money and not helping them to the best of your ability? Because one part of being a psychiatrist, you're not supposed to do no harm, even though they don't give a fuck about the men, as they say. But you can't come out and say that because it's in your oath.
yeah, I get that, but
It's in
were
your
black
oath.
men really in her clientele like
It
that?
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can't do that. When you
I,
take that oath, it's
I
in your
mean,
oath.
okay, all right.
I
The
mean,
point I was trying to make about that was, if she didn't have black men in her clientele, then that's half the battle right there. You,
no, it's not.
why the fuck would you speak on something you have no idea?
Okay, but this is the problem. She says she
Which
has
which
no
is a
black.
lot of people on social media, but
No, but this is the problem. You service the people in your group, servicing people. Say she had no black men, no, she had no black male patients, whatever, no male patients, period. The problem is you took an oath when you went into that field. You're already doing like that. Anybody that any field, any like practice that hired you, that they would be looked at with a side eye, because they'd be like, wait a minute, you hire people like this and they get on the internet and talk all this? I mean, it's not like that people went and dug this information up or found a tape of her talking. No, this bitch went out there and put it out there in the open.
mm,
See, it's a big difference. You know what I mean? That you went out there and put it up on air. And I know what it's like to be the difference. Like, remember when I stepped away and y'all didn't see me for a while when I was trying to get those building contracts downtown? Remember when I stepped, because I knew that all it would take is, oh, I'm trying to get these building contracts. All it would take is somebody, hey man, this is a dude right here that's trying to get these contracts for these buildings.
mm.
I mean, literally, that could be the difference of me getting a contract and somebody else. Some people say, I just don't want to deal with the stress. Cause I mean, think about it. That's the reason why we leave these women alone. We realize we ain't out here trying to date all that, because, like, you know what? It's just not worth the stress. I understand
I
it.
mean,
Right.
the rise of the lonely single man.
Right. But I mean, it's not worth the stress.
I mean, that first of all, let me because I was gonna do a whole dedicated broadcast on it. I had my theories, but you
Mm.
know, about why that may be, but we know what it is. Is you just pointed it out. Motherfuckers just don't want to be bothered with that shit.
Right. I mean, think about it. I mean, like, no offense, it's like this is. You know what I mean? I don't want to be tired dealing with that shit. That's too much crap to deal with. I mean, this is the problem is, I mean, the reason why you be like, fuck it, I love to be in a relationship, but then I got to come home and deal with this, that, and the other. You like, you know what? How much money it cost me? I can spend me, put a little budget, $500 a month on just getting laid. That's enough times a month for me to be cordial and I don't have to worry about it. Now, it would be nice to have some companion full time during the week, but well,
The
it
companion.
ain't worth it. Right. Just go ahead and pay. Remember, like I said, pay the bill, walk away. you know, pay the bill. Hey, look, I got to pay for it.
Uh,
That's what it is. At least I know it's good. I have fun, and I go about my way.
well, I tell you, I told people before this, and I'll tell people again. And about to use the M word. I mean, shoot, it's good in a lot of instances to be married if that was your intention,
Yeah.
because it's nothing out here.
Heard about that shit.
It's it's
Mm-hmm.
nothing out here. The thing to do basically is to just work on becoming the best version of yourself.
But I ain't gonna lie. I ain't even working on coming the best version of myself. I work. I do what I want to do nowadays.
Yeah,
Hey,
I get that,
look, I'm
but
old. Look. I'm old enough. I got what I want already. I'm not a materialistic person. I mean, like we were sitting there talking the other day. If you had $1 billion, what would you buy first? And I could name like two items, and both of them items I'm going to acquire in the next couple months. And they're like, "Well, what else do you want?" And I said, "I can't think of anything." And they said, "If you could have anything, what do you want?" I said, "I'm not a materialistic person, so the money is kind of minute to me. I can't think of anything that I would want." And I ain't gonna lie, that's one of the things I hate to say. If the men really want to get ahead, stop caring about material things. You will notice life will change so much. And I'm not gonna lie, once you don't care about anything material wise again, it's like I got a house, I got a car, I got just that. What I mean, what else do I need?
Hmm.
You know,
Well, I mean, there's a difference between saying it and then actually having it in front of you.
I mean,
It's like if you had like a billion million gazillion dollars in front of
mhm.
you, you'll be
Right.
buying shit that
Just give an example. When the money comes in so fast, like I was, making money was coming in fast, like literally. I was trying to find, like literally. I remember my dude saw. So what are you doing today? I'm trying to find a old bill that I ain't paid. So what? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm gonna spend all this money right here. Oh, why don't you? Don't want to go there. Don't want to do that. Don't do. I'm gonna pay this. I'm gonna pay that. I'm gonna pay this. I'm gonna give some money to this kid. I'm, and it's like, well, what you gonna spend every time? Yeah, because I'm about to get another. I'm about to in about 3-4 hours. I have another $500. Then 5-6 hours after that, I'll have another $500. And then so it's like I would just I like literally, especially when you don't want material things, you will find it's hard to spend money.
let me ask you a question. When we ask people like that questions like if you had $1 million, if you had $1 billion, what would you do? Why is it that no one ever says I will start a business?
Well, I do that. Well, like me, like because even my
Yeah,
friends,
I would start a bit like because for real, like you get
I'm
your
still,
hands on that amount of money,
I'm still
why not do something like that?
well,
Start your own business.
I'll still be well. I'm doing that already with my situation, but I'll still be like I told her. I said I'll still be building houses.
And
If I,
we're talking about a hypothetical conversation.
yeah, hypothetical, yeah. Most
Yeah,
of them
yeah, yeah,
want to do
yeah.
that.
Because
That's any smart person knows business is a lot of fucking work and a lot of sacrifice. There's been plenty of times where, like I said, plenty of times where been doing work, and by the time you pay out everybody and for the rainy day funds, this, that, and the other, by acquire tools that need to be done for that job, or shit breaks, or something happens, somebody leaves something somewhere and this gets stolen. I mean, literally, sometimes jobs can. By the time you do all the work, you might have made $75. because you don't realize you done closed up a $300 tool in somebody's house, in somebody's wall or ceiling, and you be like, you know what, fuck it. It's just gonna stay there. So when they tear that house down, they're gonna find a drill, you know, or they're gonna find this, or they're gonna find that. I mean, like literally, sometimes it's just not worth it. I mean, you by the time you do all the extras and you're like, well, fuck, I might as well, should I buy this or should I rent that? And you're like, it's just to buy it a little bit more. I just might as well buy it, even though I probably never gonna do a job like this no time soon. Or by the time, like literally, I've got some tools
you
where
would
I'm
you
like,
would you would buy it, you would
oh,
own it, you would
yeah.
hire people to do your dirty work.
Well, I'm not gonna lie.
You would sit up.
I get the joy of doing it myself. Like, just give an example. Today I woke up, I helped my cousin at his house. Then when my other cousin, when she got off work, we drove to, I live in Cleveland. We drove to Youngstown, helped her up. We're building a bathroom in her. Worked 4.5 hours out there, and then I got my car and drove all the way back to Cleveland. So, like, literally, I did like 4 hours worth of driving just to help somebody work in their house. So, I mean, like, trust me.
All right.
I mean, like literally, like I said, I was in Walton Hills, Ohio today. Then I was in Youngstown, ran the plumbing and all that crap for a bathroom sink and all that. Put two new electrical outlets in, ran them, and then got in the car and drove all the way back to Cleveland. So,
Yeah. Well, shoot. All right.
yeah.
So, so, what about this Idris Elba thing?
People just mad that I ain't gonna lie. This is the problem with social media. Social media, when people put it out there, you're never, and it's a problem with us black people. We always try to appease everybody. There's always going to be a group that is not going to be, like, oh, you should have did this, that, or the other. Especially when they only know minute details.
Mm.
Like we don't know. We don't know, was he funding it? Who was funding it? Maybe this could have been the last. This could have been their last hoorah. Hey, we got 15, 20 million to make this movie. If this motherfucker don't hit, we out of business. You know what I mean? We don't know all the factors, and the problem with the black community, especially, is they've known, and social media has done it definitely. They've known to create stories and shit like this just to get a rise out of people talking about it, and then just for advertising dollars. That's all it is. Because when you think about the shit in a big nutshell, like, why the fuck are you worried? Evidently, the bitch wasn't good enough. Too bad. Nigga, it happens to you all the time, every day. Yeah.
And man, Weather said, heard Clarence Williams improvise most of his lines and tales from the hood. I said, shoot, to put on a wig like that, he hadn't done something. Like,
Right. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like, what is it? Said, Weather, remember this? Oh, they having a whole conversation down there.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, man, but I think that, like, here's the thing. I think that Idris Elba should be commended. You know,
Oh,
he
definitely.
he should be commended. He's not just he's not just handing it to her. You
Well,
know, if
of course,
if if you find that role that you are perfect for and you get the job, it is going to be because
you
you
got.
earned it. It's going
Well,
to be because
think about it. It's his daughter. He knows her more than all of us does, more than everybody in this chat and all that shit combined. So he knows what's best for her. And why the fuck would, like I said, is maybe she needed to learn that. Maybe, like, it's been times. Maybe, yeah, if it would have been my daughter, I would have got it for her. But maybe what they were going through, she needed to learn that lesson. It ain't like the motherfucker starving and she ain't got a meal to eat.
shoot,
Right.
said her daddy Idris Elba, she gonna be all right.
Right.
Like it ain't like the man came out and said like I'm.
No, he
You
just
get
said
no more of my money. You know.
right. I mean, like what? You mad because you didn't get the part? No offense, it probably wasn't no good. Or maybe the part, maybe they know they're making a part two, where the part is going to have something that will be against morally what's wrong. More the morals of your family.
Well,
I
no,
mean,
I don't know that movie's gonna have a part two.
hmm but
But
I never saw the movie. Period. So was it good?
yeah. What I saw was good. You know
Oh, mm,
that line was fucking folks up.
no. I'll say like this: the last movie I watched that movie Wife Like. That was actually pretty good. I do admit I got to watch the last like 30 minutes of it to see, but it seems pretty good. You could tell that it was like a red pill movie. Because exactly like you see how they were fighting. They were exactly acting like the women, how they fight in this area. It's like it ain't, we don't go out pushing our shit. Unless you come looking for it, you ain't gonna find it. Mm.
Mm. All right.
Ain't nobody gonna come up
No, I don't.
and
I
get
don't think it's
opinions in here.
yeah. It's I mean, it's only so much you can cover when you talk about these kinds of things.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, yeah,
but there's always a chat to go to.
yeah. Yes, I like that. This should teach her that life has many disappointments. You're right about that. Sometimes motherfuckers, I ain't gonna lie, some motherfuckers need to learn the hard way. You know?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not
I agree with that statement. He said Idris Elba is the only modern actor that can make a CGI tiger a great actor. He killed it as Khan in the Jungle Book. Yep. Yes, he did.
yeah. Oh, he was. Yeah, I do admit that was. He played that part role. He played that role well. I didn't
Yeah.
know who he was, but I definitely know when you say, "Wow." Some people like that's another person that didn't get credit. Like some parts of people in movies don't get the credit because they were known as the bad guy, but that was real good acting for that to play that role, and it was a real good. Like another, like I like in Demolition Man, Simon Phoenix. He played the hell. Well, what's he? Simon played the hell out that role. They
Oh
played
yeah.
Cage and Face Off. You know what I mean? Kaiser Sose and Usual Suspects. Play the hell out them roles.
Well, it said he needs to be spawned. You talking about Idris Elba? It said Jamie Foxx got it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And sometimes too. Sometimes maybe he saw her working hard to try to get these parts, but no, she needed a little bit more. And sometimes a fall at a right time can help a person get up. Maybe she was working hard on getting her acting stuff, but then she starts slacking off. So then he could be like, yeah, you didn't get the part because you start slacking off. You should have been going to your classes. Should have been doing this, that, or the other. You know,
Well, wanting
he's
to
her
be
father,
something.
right? He's her
Yeah,
father. He
yeah,
know what's best for her.
yeah. Wanting to be something and then actually being that is
Difficult.
two totally different things.
And think about it. He's her father. He wants what's best for her. Like, no offense, men ain't known for sabotaging their kids. That's something that women do. I mean, like think about it. We ain't never we ain't in competition with our kids as
Mm.
men. Like you in competition with your son. Like if your son made up and say he did 4 times as much money and made you look like a homeless bum, you ain't gonna be mad.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? But like, let that be, like say Vivica Fox had a kid, a daughter, and her daughter started acting and became a better actor than her. Can you imagine the shit that you would hear?
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like name any woman actor who got a daughter that act, or somebody in that same field that does even better than them. Watch all the drama you see.
Yeah, yeah. Kiam Kwale says after they ruined the Black Panther sequel, maybe Idris can play Blue Marvel
Mhm.
in the MCU.
All right.
He's already played Heimdall. I don't
Mhm.
know. Maybe he can. You cast him as another role. Plus, I have a feeling that the Black Panther sequel is gonna make or break the MCU. But whatever's happening with that film, I think that people, I think they need a little bit more transparency.
Yeah. You've been fined one credit for a Soviet watching violation. I know that movie too much. Oh man, I ain't gonna lie. That was the movie right there. I wish they could have made. Like when they talk about remaking movies, I wish they could remake that movie again. You know, they like reboot that. That'd be a good movie. I'd actually go see it. That movie was,
Demolition Man.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
so
Demolition
underrated.
Man has so much relevance today.
It was so underrated too. Because I remember when I saw it back then, I loved it. Everybody thought maybe because I'm a future type person, I can look ahead, and I saw that. It's like, man, the future is 2032, and I gotta say, the world has become a pussywood version of itself. And all we gotta do is kill a guy named Raymond who put it all together. But now the best part, I say the best line, he said, I seen the future. It's a 40-year-old virgin sitting in his orange pajamas, drinking a banana broccoli shake, singing I'm a Oscar Mayer wiener. And I was just like, wow. Like when you think about that now, you're like, what?
Oh yeah, how relevant it is to
Yes,
today's climate. Like
40-year-old version. Think about
like
it.
people be trying to write letters to your job.
Right. Like, I mean, like,
Oh
wow.
God, my feelings.
No,
I'm gonna
no, no.
write this letter. I'm gonna make you sorry, buddy.
No, like especially when they no, like go back and watch that movie, like because I haven't seen the movie too many times. I can think of every damn near every scene.
Man, I
When,
used to watch the movie. I used to watch the movie repeatedly.
no,
I know exactly what you're
okay.
talking about.
What about when the guy when he pushed the guy from in front of the thing? He's like, man, lately I feel like there's nothing special about me. And he's like, you're an incredible joy man that brings joy feelings around you. I was like, what in the world? For real? And
But
that's
you
how
know
he
what though, man? I'm gonna go back and watch it anyway. I haven't watched it in
like
a couple
lately, I
years.
feel. Remember when that guy when he was talking when Simon Phoenix came up, like before he beat up the six cops, and the guy was standing at that thing, and it was just like, he's like, lately, I feel that there's nothing special about me. He's like, you are an incredible, great man who inspires joy feelings in all those around you. I was just like, what? Or like when he was sitting there trying to break into the thing, try to get the guns, and he's like, excuse me, sir. What seems to be your boggle? And I'm like, wow, that's how
Said
they
my
use that.
boggle.
My boggle. He's like, how much do you weigh?
Yeah,
I'm like, what
yeah.
the hell? He's just like, what? He look, and boy, don't you get tired of chasing? Goddamn, I can remember too many lines. Don't you get tired of coat chasing freaks who stay up past curfew and tell dirty jokes? He's like, no, I actually find my job quite fulfilling. Like, who talks like that? Except now, but
Yeah, I agree. Whether Wesley should have never done Tu Wan Fu.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that statement.
Mm.
They just like he had all these masculine roles, and then all of a sudden he does Tu Wan Fu.
Yeah. Simon says die. uh,
Mister Mister said Mister Mister says that he is not excited to see the new Black Panther movie.
I'm not excited either. I ain't even gonna lie. I don't even want to see it. I when I heard that they was going that route, I'd already wrote it off. I don't even look forward to it.
Hmm.
Because this is the problem. I ain't gonna lie. They probably it's gonna. I see that they're trying to ride this last wave because they realize it's coming. But for them to start to get on the women about doing the things like that, and eventually they're gonna do a thing where they just gonna. It, I mean, it's gonna have to. They realize that it's gonna be. This is how you know when the government steps in and be like, nope, we gonna get rid of child support, or we gonna make it to where fathers get 50-50 custody off rip.
Like when they start making changes like that, or when women start going to jail and start doing serious time for the crimes that they're doing, then you say, "Oh, wait a minute, these people," because they realize these men ain't okay. Fine. I mean, the men ain't doing shit. They ain't trying to help nobody. You need productive men. I mean, when you get 30 to 40% people unproductive, I mean, no offense, it just spreads like a fucking disease. And then the people don't care. Then on top of that, those unproductive people could maybe get into stuff that they shouldn't be doing, and then they could end up killing the productive people. Come on now. They look
Mm.
at them numbers.
Yeah, well, sometimes motherfuckers got to learn on their own.
But this is
How
the problem. They know that already. I think that they're learning already because they realize like the companies can't survive on this. They are hurting. Like businesses are hurting because they realize people ain't like going out on dates. Women ain't is all full of women. You go remember I told you at the restaurant. So I took them pictures. Look at that, all these damn women. I mean,
I mean, Hybrid said, "Did you see the new She-Hulk series?"
oh God, I heard it was horrible too.
Man, let me tell you something. When I finished that episode up, I was like, "Wow, I didn't know white women went through so much in this country. I need to educate myself."
Ooh, I forgot about Marshall. Yeah, he played good. I still say Demolition Man, but I got that movie on videotape too. U.S. Marshals, he played good in that.
Yeah, no. Wesley Snipes, he did Passenger 57.
Yeah,
Movies
I'm
like
not.
that.
Yeah, but still, I still say when I say like the acting wise, like especially when you at the time it didn't. Demolition Man, he rocked that movie. Passenger 57 was good. His part. U.S. Marshals was a distant second, but definitely other than Blade. I don't count Blade. You know, 'cause, he was a hero in that movie, but when he wasn't, he played a good villain in Demolition Man. U.S. Marshals was okay. I mean, him riding around in a tow truck trying to get that broad. Come on.
Mm.
selling secret selling secrets to the Chinese. A response to invasion of Taiwan. God damn, I can remember too many damn movie lines. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I chose you because you were the best.
Yeah. I mean, it said, oh, so in Blade coming to the MCU, they say that they got his daughter in the movie already.
Oh my gosh. For real?
Yeah, so they'll have some female to take up the mantle.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie though. But see, they don't realize something. That's gonna be they're gonna try to push this female initiative so much, but it ain't gonna work. Because this is the problem is unless it's hair, makeup, eyelashes, women ain't buying that shit.
Now, I'll tell you what the problem is
Women don't go to movies like that.
when you have a platform that is created by men, and you think not only inserting women is going to
Right.
continue to maintain the product itself, but to think that you're going to insult the demographic that made the product popular in the first place, if you're going to insult men, because I'm sitting up here looking at She-Hulk like, didn't didn't some men create this character?
Right. And but the problem is women don't care about stuff like this. It's like say I made a pink version of DeWalt tools and I wanted them to sell just as much. To I mean that part would go out. It doesn't matter that the tools are just as good as DeWalt. They don't buy that shit. You know what I mean? They don't buy that shit. They don't. They got. I said, now I'm going to show you how you ain't shit because your women were still behind that and bought everything other than wigs, eyelashes, and makeup. Then the WNBA wouldn't be where it is. So if anything, you women need to be. No, once I was going to show you, prove to us men that y'all really should be all that. Fill the fucking stadium, one game. You know what I mean? Fill the stadium in one game.
Dre, you borging out seriously.
Wait a minute.
It sound like
Okay, that
you sound
better.
like yeah, that's better. You sound like
Yeah.
Merman for a second. But
Yeah, but no, I said the women wanted to prove. I prove to you, y'all ain't shit, and y'all don't give a damn. I said, fill the fucking stadium for one WNBA game. Fill, fill,
well,
fill the stadium for one game.
that's a fundamental problem with the WNBA. Speaking of the WNBA, you heard about Dennis Rodman
Yeah,
saying that he's
he'll
going
go
to
over there.
Russia.
Yeah, yeah. I hate to say something. He probably would because, and this is the only reason why I know he's friends with the dude from China, King Tong, whatever his name is. Him and him is friends. So, and China has been doing deals with Russia. So him and Xing Changbu or whatever his name is, and Putin been talking a lot. Because I've been following the China situation, and they've been talking a lot and being friends. I'm pretty sure that Dennis Rodman could probably call in a favor and expedite the process, or at least get them thinking about it, because they are
Yeah,
friends.
just like Roy Jones Jr. did with his Russian citizenship.
Yeah, yeah.
But the one thing about that though,
Mm-hmm.
it shows that black men
Mm-hmm.
are willing to step in to help black women.
Definitely. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, it's been two of them. It's been Roy Jones and Dennis Rodman.
But this is the problem. I said that this is if black men go to show you how stupid you motherfuckers are. You should actually use now. She's in jail. Now we gonna capitalize off of her ass. You're right, Biden. We should get her out of jail and get all the people in jail for the petty weed charges.
Well, yeah, but yeah,
You know
that's the one thing that the country would have to admit. If they
mm,
were to somehow to move on Brittany Griner getting free,
mm.
then we would have to admit that we were wrong about our war on marijuana or
Well,
cannabis
I ain't
or
gonna lie.
whatever. And just like you said,
Right.
uh,
Well, this is the problem. If you, as this is, I ain't gonna lie. If the men, I just tell you, the men should go buck wild. If they get this bitch free over there for a drug charge that she did, then the niggas over here should riot. Period. I
right,
say that.
I don't know about right, but
You understand what I'm trying to say? You can wait a minute. No, bitch, wait a minute. You can put people in our own country in jail for that.
yeah,
Yet you can go get somebody out your other country for that. For real? I mean, is that
yeah. Like I said, if the U.S. went and got Brittany Griner,
right?
if the U.S. went and got Brittany Griner, Brittany's out. She's free, and she uses her vape pen again and again. Then this country would have to admit that on a federal level, there's nothing wrong with smoking marijuana.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
That they would have to admit it, and I think that's the one thing that they don't want to admit because this is why there is like little to no motion from this government to free Brittany Griner.
mm-hmm. Right. Simon Phoenix. Oh my gosh, he said Simon Says. Another movie where they said Simon Says is Die Hard with a Vengeance. So when he was Simon, he played that dude. What was that dude's name that played that part? He was a good actor too. A villain.
You talking about Jeremy Irons, are you?
And the guy who played in Die Hard with a Vengeance, he played Hans Gruber's brother.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Irons.
He played that. He played the hell out of that part too.
Yeah.
Simple Simon, you want to turn pie man? Give me your pies. All right, keep your head in.
Little Scar from the Lion King.
As I was going to St. Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Every wife had 7 sacks. Every sack had 7 cats. Every cat had seven kittens. Kittens, cats, sacks, and wives. How many of them were going to St. Ives? God damn, bro, you know too many movie lines. Call me in 30 seconds or die.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, Hybrid says let Brittany Griner do the time. She's 6'8". She'll be okay.
All right. Man, she probably over there eating coochie like a mug.
To some of that Russian cuisine.
Hell yeah. Shit, man. Think about it, boy. She American too. You know that's a y'all. You
But you know what
hold
though?
on those
It,
coordinates.
it, it, it sucks being locked up. I don't care what anybody says.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's prison.
I don't know, but but I think they prison is different.
Prison in Russia.
Yeah, I think they different than ours. They probably like you see locked up abroad. Matter of fact, we need to look and see what prison she is and see if they got any like locked up abroad there and see how they show. Because they might be one of them prisons where you just like in a big ass school and they don't have like you go to wherever you want and it's like they just lock you in a school building. You ever seen them type of prisons? Like you ever seen locked up abroad where they're like, yeah, when you in prison, you just go here and you ain't really assigned a spot. You just in this area here. And it's like so like and like the prison inmates run the shit. So she like, oh yeah, I'm 6'8". Yeah, you better lick this. Lick it real good.
So just walk right up to her, just start.
Right. I mean,
While she's standing up,
right.
you walk right up to her.
All right. I mean, what is how tall is she?
She's 6'8".
Yeah, 6'8". Come on now, lick it real good. What you say?
No, I don't see. I'm looking it up. I don't see nothing about the prison she's actually at. Or,
That's right. So you need to find.
no blueprint or.
she up there. She up there.
But all I'm saying is, it's gotta suck.
No, she beating them people like the dude from what was that in Rocky, the little Russian from Rocky. I will break you.
Some old Drago.
Yeah, she beating them women like Drago.
No, speaking of Drago, you know they talking about making a movie just based off Drago.
I will break you. Can you picture? I will lick you. Lick it good.
Well, she going whether say she going with Rocky Train and Rocky Folk.
I will break you. Ooh, I'm going to hell. Thank God my cousin is asleep. She would be talking about because she said that's your problem, Dre. It's that like, you talk about people too much. Like literally, y'all guys have only seen me like the toned down version. Like it's gotten so bad. My cousin will tell you, like I just like we'll be out in public, and if I just smile, shut up, Andre, stop it.
Yeah, I think that we're all toned down versions, especially on social media and the way it's ran. You say the wrong thing, and you could be suspended.
Yeah, I mean, but nah, I go hard. Like literally, I'm one of those ones. I go hard. Like, I had some women step up. I got into a big argument in a restaurant actually about 2 weeks ago, and I mean, I told somebody stepped in, and I hey, I told her sit your $5 ass down before I make change. And it was just like, what? I'm like, oh, what? Yeah. No, I said, woman, don't you ever dare talk to me like that. I'll beat your fucking ass. And she was just like, I said, what? What you looking around for? You see not one man got up here to get your back? She sat her ass down. I'm like, yeah, I thought so. That's the part I hate to say. I'm horrible. So I start cracking on her. Like basically, I'm like, look, I can't hit your ass, but I can talk about you. So I start going in, and I had people in the restaurant laughing, and the people at the restaurant were like, all right, stop. I had everybody. I'm like, but look at that. Your old ass sitting up in here, no ring on your fucking finger. You probably be at home. Them cats be licking your coo nanny, don't it? I just had the people laughing. I'm like, what? Oh, you bought a dog, didn't you? I'm like, what? I bet you got a dog, don't you? And they was just like, oh, I'm like, no, you started it. Because I was like, no, you're disturbing our even. Motherfucker, shut the fuck up. I said, y'all had no problem when she was talking out of hand, so now I'm going to have fun with this shit. I'm like, I can't beat her ass, but I sure can crack on her. I'm going to start, next time, I ain't going to lie, I get into a lot of conversations like that. I'm going to record one so y'all can see that I do act like how that acts. Like I'm going to post it online. And see, because he's my friend, he's like, Dre, you gonna wind up getting shot one day.
And that's not funny.
Hey, but I know I told him that's not funny. But the fact is, hey, plain and simple, I talk about your ass in a
Yeah.
heartbeat. I'm like, oh, so I feel no, you was trying to hurt my feelings. I'm gonna hurt your feelings. Like, it ain't like you can't hit women, but you can sure talk about their ass. Because
Yeah.
half of them they wearing all that shit because their self esteem is in the gutter. I mean, think about it. Why you think these movies trying to overcast their departments? Because they realize that they are emotionally in the trash. Yeah, the men are upset too that they can't get families and all like that is. But men, the good thing about the men is they always had the upbringing where that you thought the world worked like this, but you learned at a young age that most of the time you ain't getting shit. Anything happen, you got to pull it out the mud yourself. You know that. So it's just like you just found out another thing ain't true. Where the women were told that they sugar and spice and everything nice.
Well, they're getting a lot of doses of reality when they come in these social media streets.
And what you
But
see the women fighting, it's gonna be funny because we be watching the women fight each other. Because she's like this bitch right here, like the therapist. I guess it was another chick that got her in trouble.
yeah, yeah, it was, and you know, derelicts will still blame black men for that.
Hmm. Well, you heard what she made a comment. I watched the video that she did. And what do? You called over that because of what I said about men. It was like, oh, I mean, what's so bad? It's gonna get into a big stage, and see that's the bad thing. The women they're so quick to fight because it's the same sex, and they don't realize they'll fight each other quick. You gonna see the pick me's and the regular women fighting in a minute, like big time. You gonna look up, you
Mm.
know, because the women that realize that if they want protection or whatever, won't see, but even to give them the time of day, they're gonna have to disassociate themselves from them type of women. They realize that and they see it. They see the writing on the wall because that's why a lot of women don't say shit and they don't give. I've seen some women where you see they don't give men no problem. They don't talk back or they'll get no attitude like that. They're like, okay, whatever, and they just leave because they realize.
Well, damn. Hey, bro, listen up, man. I'm about to bring this one to a close.
Yeah, because this conversation is exhausted.
No, not the conversation. I mean, it's a cool conversation. I'm exhausted.
Man,
Yes,
you ain't done nothing. You a black man. You ain't built shit. So you ain't done nothing.
yeah,
Okay.
I ain't built nothing.
You ain't done nothing. You talk.
I ain't building no everybody a house.
No, but you've been
You
playing
know,
PlayStation. All you do is play PlayStation and smoke weed.
yeah, that's all I do.
Right.
Damn, it's pretty accurate. I'm just playing. Yeah, man, but it's been quite a day for me. But I like I said, as always, I enjoy doing this.
Hmm.
Shoot, but anything left? Anything you got to say for
Yeah.
final statement?
Mm-mm.
All right.
Us
Well,
fathers love our daughters. We'll do the best for them. We'll do what's best for our daughter, even if it's not accepted by other people on the outside looking in. But we care for our kids, especially in our generation.
yeah, and whereas we can't do for them in some areas, other areas we excel in.
Hmm.
So just try not to look at it from one way. Just look at it from many angles,
Hmm.
and that'll pretty much do it. Like I say, especially for a guy with resources and income like Idris Elba.
Hmm.
I seriously doubt that he denies her stuff on a regular basis.
Hmm.
So that's just those for those people out there who would say something like, he should have did that for her too. I mean, in a perfect world, yeah, but this ain't a perfect world. So
Hmm.
so all right, y'all. Appreciate y'all coming by once again. The sharing this convo. Thank you to Judge Dre for coming up to the panel. And y'all have a great week. In Kev we trust. Long live the habitual line steppers.
Mhm.
Gonna win. When that happens, we all win. Y'all have a good weekend. Be safe out there.
Mhm.
All righty.